Give me a minute. Let me bring this
But you
back.
know, the fact
Okay,
that
here we go. All right, Shalom, Shalom. This is Truth is Everlasting, Lion's Den. I am Yahweh Sop. I camp out with Lion Den, Hawan Ben Yashua in Jacksonville, Florida. But first, I like to give a prayer to the Father, to the Son, to the elders, to the archons, and to the women and children in Paleo Hebrew language. Ka, Halayim La Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Ha Rokak Wadash Mahamaf, in the name of Yahweh Shai, in spirit and holy and in truth. Double honors to the 144,000 chosen elect. Double honors to the apostles of GMS. Double honors to the apostles of Lion Den's camp. Salutations to the archons on the four corners of the earth and to the women and children, Shalom. And when I say lion, at the end is a Z, not a S, okay? Well, this video popped up last night, but it was late. Slovakia. The title of this lesson is called Thy Own Mouth Condemns Thee, okay? And then, as you can see, it says here, land back. President Trump is going to say something very important to all our people, so-called Negros, Latinx, and speckled birds, okay? Listen good. Here we go.
they had a boat land there 500 years ago doesn't mean that they own the land.
Really? So what you're telling me is that just because a people land a boat some 500 and some odd years ago on a land from which they themselves do not originate, claim it as their own, colonize it, settle it, create an infrastructure and a government to oversee that land, and eventually claim that land as a sovereign country, that in and of itself does not make that land theirs. Interesting. From the lips of the white man to the ears of the ancestors and their descendants, Tlaskamati.
But
There you go, okay? So you can see how the wicked Edomites like to make their own rules and their own belief system. I want to go to Job chapter 15, verse 6. Thy own mouth condemneth thee, and not I. Yea, thy own lips testify against thee. See, they can't hide it no more. The whole world knows now who they are. Not only that, their own kind is also fed up, you know, and they're fighting among themselves for the reason of greed and power, okay? Yeah, we do have some Edomite whistleblowers, but it doesn't mean that it's going to change anything, because everything is controlled by Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, and it's moving accordingly, meaning, yes, it's going to get worse before it gets better, right? So when we tell our people, so-called Negros, Latinos, and speckled birds, to repent, that's the only, remedy for this madness. Because without Yahweh Shai, you're not going to make it the way you think or your beliefs, whatever belief system you're holding on to, which is from below and not from above. I want to go to Luke 19:22. Give me a minute. Verse 22. And he said unto him, Out of thy own mouth would I judge thee, thou wicked servant. Thou knewest that I was a austere man, taking up that I lay not down, and reaping that I not sow. You know, that was our people who were given the opportunity, right? Who were called to do the work of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. You know, and if you keep reading further, some of them were giving more, some were giving less, right? But those who not do the work, well, what happened? Yahushua will take the oil away from him and give it to someone else that's doing the work, you know? And our people, for some reason, the so-called Negros, Latinx, and speckled birds, keep believing that all they got to do is just work. I haven't seen a lady for a year and a half now. I saw her today, and she's working now at a job from 7 in the morning all the way to 7 in the evening, right? 7 or 8 in the evening. And I said, well, that's pretty intense. And she told me that she sees that things are getting worse, right? But when I ask her, why? She goes, well, because there's bad people. And I asked her, well, do you know who's the bad people when you say that? And she goes, just people. I said, no, it's the people in power who are still standing in stolen land, And their days are coming because they're destroying the earth, They wanna rule the whole world. I want to go to Proverbs chapter. Give me a minute. Proverbs what? Chapter 11, verse 9. An hypocrite with his mouth destroys his neighbor, but through knowledge shall the just be delivered. Yeah, that's all the Edomites are doing, destroying one another because of greed, because of power, right? They want to have everything, but they are they at the same time they're destroying what they say that they want. Try to make sense out of that. I go to Job chapter 8, verse 13. So are the path of all that forgot Yahweh, and the hypocrites' hope shall perish. Yeah. The Edomites don't care nothing about Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai. Okay? The Edomites believe that they are the gods and that no one can take them. Well, until Yahushai comes back, he's going to show the whole world that he's going to take them out of power and remove this wicked world from the face of the earth. Verse 14, whose hope shall be cut off and whose trust shall be a spider web. Yeah. They don't see it. AI cannot even help them with that. Right? AI cannot even tell them, listen, you're setting yourself up for destruction. Okay? I want to go back to Proverbs chapter 11, verse 10. When it goes well with the righteous, the city rejoices, and when the wicked perish, there is shouting. Because, who wants to be living in a wicked world that all it promotes is destruction, right? Destruction and death and sickness. No, that's not a way to live, you know? That's not a righteous life, okay? Let's go to Matthew chapter 12. Keeping it short tonight. Verse 37. For by thy words thou shalt be justified, and by thy words thou shalt be condemned. Yeah. The more they speak of their wickedness so proudly, boastful, that's good. Keep it up. Right? It's all being recorded. Just like they're watching us and watching me right now. Everything that I say and do in the name of Yahweh Shin Yahweh Shai, well, Yahweh Bashin Yahweh Shai and the host of angels been recording all of us from the beginning of time all the way to now. So it's no big secret. So I'll leave it with Job chapter 15. Let's start with verse 20. The wicked man travels with pain all his days, and the number of years is hidden to the oppressor. Yeah, we're saying when it's gonna end, when this wicked power is gonna come to an end, when it's gonna stop. Verse 21, and I'll leave it with this: a dreadful sound is in his ears. In prosperity, the destroyer shall come upon him. Woo! Yep. Let's play one more time, a little bit, and then I'll cut it off.
You know, the fact that they had a boat land there 500 years ago doesn't mean that they own the land.
Really? So what you're telling me is that just because a people land a boat some 500 and some odd years ago on a land from which they themselves do not originate, claim it as their own, colonize it, settle it, create an infrastructure and a government to oversee that land, and eventually claim that land as a sovereign country, that in and of itself does not make that land theirs. Interesting.
Yep, and with that, I'll say Shalom.